Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with another Craft of Exile video. In this one, I'm going to show you how to craft a big dick and a smaller dick version of the Absolution helmet and what you can do with the Tainted Currency Orbs. So as you can see here, what we have is a Gale Crown Bone Helmet. This is a Socket Spell Salve crit, Hypothermia, Minion Damage, Conk Effect, and the Essence of Insanity, Physical Damage, Extra Lightning. Now, it turns out that the +3 socketed minion gems, which is kind of bread and butter for most minion builds, including Absolution, to level up their levels of the gem, is actually only outperforming the Hypothermia mod, which means that you could run this helmet with a +3 instead of Hypothermia. Granted, you don't get any life roll, which is kind of a bad roll on this one, which would actually be better. But if you end up with having Conk Effect and minion damage, that will be pretty solid. I'm going to start with showing you the higher budget version of this, which is rather expensive. And then I'm going to talk about the lower budget as well in this video. So stay tuned and I'll go through the entire process. One thing to note, when you learn how to craft, it's always good to learn different types of crafting. Low and high budget doesn't matter, because the more different types of crafting that you learn how to do, you can apply that method on tons of other items as well. So hope you guys will have use of this video. So I'm going to do this through the emulator, and I'm going to show you the step-by-step process. The emulator is craftofexile.com, perfect website to utilize. You have a crafting 101 guide here, actually my video, and then you can, simulate items and you can calculate items in the emulator. We're going to use the emulator, and it shows a new item, and then we're going to take a helmet, and I'm going to show you it on a strength int base, which is a bone helmet. I'm going to put 30% quality because it's going to have that. And the initial step is to get an Elder or Shaper bone helmet, or whatever helmet you want to use as a base. Then get the other influence, and then you just woke them together. You don't care about the mods in this case. Just woke them together with an Awakener Orb. That allows you to have the base that you want to use. The woke orb, you need to use it on the bad base first, the base you don't want to keep, to apply that influence onto the good base. So in my case, I had a Shaper bone helmet, and I took an Elder shit L helmet, and I used the woke orb on the Elder item, and then put it on the bone helmet. That way I kept the bone helmet. So now that we have a Shaper Elder base that we want to work with, what you're going to do first is use essences. In this case, you have two different approaches. You either use Essence of Insanity, and you just spam this till you get this with a Hypothermia. Obviously, this can be very expensive. Essence of Insanity is not very cheap. So now that we are going to do this, that's one of the strategies. I think this is rather expensive. The other strategy is to use a Glyphic Fossil. Glyphic Fossils allows you to get, on when you use it in a resonator, one of the Corrupted Essence modifiers. The Corrupted Essence modifiers is either Insanity, Hysteria, Horror, or Delirium. That means 4 different ones. Now, obviously, it would be really nice to use Bound Fossil together with this to give you yourself minion damage, plus level of minion gems. The problem with this is that the Bound Fossil, if I can find it, there, increases aura gems as well, which means that when you use this, it will actually increase the odds of you getting the Delirium Essence modifier. So we want to avoid using a bound with this strategy, hence why we're doing this process. So we're going to use it together with Frigid instead, right here. Now the problem is they don't have Glyphic in this list. So what you're going to do is you want to spam 2 socket resonators with a Frigid Fossil and a Glyphic Fossil so that you get this Essence modifier. This will happen by average once every 4th try, and what you're looking for is any level of Hypothermia. It doesn't matter if it's 16, 18, or 20. So I'm just going to add this to the item by doing. I'm going to keep this, and I'll show you the process of it. Suffix, and then we have Hypothermia, which is not there because this one's in the way. We can do this. So here's one of the different outcomes that can happen. Your goal with this craft is to make sure that you have the correct essence modifier, in this case the Essence of Insanity, and you want to have any level Hypothermia. Once you're in this process, you want to make sure the 3rd suffix slot is open. In this example that I've shown you, there is not a suffix open, there's 2 prefixes. This allows you to use an annulment orb. It also allows you to run a suffix into a prefix beastcraft, which removes 1 random suffix and adds a random prefix. The problem, though, with this is that we are going to want 1 open prefix when we have an open suffix slot as well. So in this case, I will have 2 choices. I can either do the Beastcraft, and then that will have me 3 prefixes, which means I would have to block the prefix to do a reforge. I'm actually just going to show you. So let's say we do a beastcraft on this. I'm going to show you the entire, everything about this. Remove suffix, add prefix. In this case, it bricked. You restart the process. I'm going to show you what happens if you don't brick it, which will be, if I can...
Welcome.
There we go. So in this case, you would need to open up the prefixes. This is where it gets a little bit annoying because you will have to benchcraft, any type of suffix modifier, and then use a harvest for reforging, keeping suffixes. This way, I've now opened up a prefix slot and I have my suffixes sorted. And now we can do the next process. So I'm going to go back to how it was before. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. So I'm going to go back and show you what happens if you have an open prefix and do the same process. Basically, the other process I just showed you gets to this point. So we're going to go back to hypothermia. And if the item looks like this, where you have an open suffix and an open prefix, this is for the big dick version. For the non-big dick version, this is a step you skip. You will just keep this. You don't care what happens with the last suffix modifier. You're just going to ignore it. With the big dick version, you want socketed spells have crit. And at this point, you will benchcraft the prefix with a suffix. There. Suffix cannot be changed. By putting this on, we can now reforge this item. We'll re-roll all your prefixes. But since there's an open suffix slot, it can add a suffix modifier. And then go to harvest, and we will reforge this with a crit mod. There are two different crit modifiers on an Elder Shaper helmet, and that is socketed attacks have crit and socketed spells have crit. We want socketed spells. Again, we don't care about the tier mod. We're only looking for the actual modifier. So by doing this, we ended up with socketed attacks. This is a bad outcome. If this happens, you would have to restart the process. And you do this till you get socketed spells. Now we got socketed spells. Now we're done with our suffixes. They're halfway done, basically. This is the tough part that comes up right now. Now we're going to reforge keeping suffixes with a bunch of different strategies to make sure that we get minion damage, concentrate effect, +3 minion gems. Those are the 3 different mods that we're going to go for. It turns out that you can live without the +3 if you get minion damage and conk effect. So you just want any 2 combinations of those 3 to make this good. And this goes for the low budget version of this as well. Any 2 of those and you'll be happy with it. And this is done by reforging keeping suffix. In this case, I got a +1 level of minion gems with a mana roll. I would just exalt slam this and pray we're done. This case we failed, so we go back to reforging. This is the expensive part with this process. Now we have a mana roll that's not worth working on. No. Each of these is like 1 or 2x. 1 or 1.5x actually. Minion life is useless. Mana. We have area of effect, which is actually nice for area coverage, but not something we are going to be working on. It's just nice if we get it with the other 2. In here we have area. No. And this is, like I said, the expensive part. I think it took us like almost 100x to finish our helmet. Let's see if we get anything. There's a conk effect. So in this case, we want +1, 2, or 3, or a minion damage to finish this. So the way we do it with this one is to benchcraft a block on this. In this case, I would just simply block the mana craft. So now that I blocked the mana from happening, I would just exalt slam this, and we got armor energy shield. In this case, that's pretty fucking bad. So we will remove the benchcraft and then slam it one more time, and we ended up with nothing. So we have to keep doing the reforge keep suffix. And that's basically the entire process. There is one little trick, which I'm hopefully going to show you right now. So we got one of the plus level of gems. Now I will, again, because there's 2 prefixes open, I will benchcraft a block, and then I will slam it, and we ended up with chaos damage to spells. Another way you can do with this process is to actually benchcraft suffixes cannot be changed. This is another way of doing it. Since this has a minion and gem tag, which is the tags we have from the minion damage, for example, we can do suffix can't be changed, which is a 2 Exaltus investment, and then do reforge more likely. This will reforge the entire item and give it modifiers that is similar to what's already on the item. But this craft cannot touch my suffixes, therefore it will only bother this craft, which will be increasing the odds of me hitting minion and gems. This almost always guarantees another one of these crafts, but in more cases than not, you'll get minion damage, minion life, and we will see what happens. But you will be almost guaranteed to get this modifier. So by doing this, we got that modifier again, and we got armor energy shield. It just increases your probability of it. I found that I prefer to just benchcraft the mana and just slamming it. It's a matter of personal preference. Slamming it, I got a bad mod. I will remove the bench, I'll slam it again, and we ended up with nothing, so we go back to the Reforge. Obviously, on a low-budget version, you can just keep whatever mod you get, you know, play with that till you have more currency to work with, because this is a very... Oh my god, I fucked up. There we go. Don't do that. So I go back, and this is minion life, area effect, plus level of minion gems. I will block, I will slam, life, take away that. That's not too bad. If this hits, it didn't hit, of course. Go back, keep doing it. And this is basically the entire process of finishing the helmet. So I'm going to show you the process, what you're going to do. That was a prefix. I would slam that, and that's bad. So once we have 2 of the modifiers that you're going to want, we're going to do a little bit of a different strategy to it. So I'm just going to see if I can pick it up real quick. That was a minion damage, wasn't it? Yes, it was. And that was also bad. This is, again, the very expensive craft for this. That's also bad. That's a conk effect with open prefix, mana block, slam. Oh, there we go. And then, okay, so when something like this happens, which is great, you have 2 options. Benchcraft the last modifier to get some HP, or take the risk and slam it. I would do this. Oh, I got a life roll, so whatever. In this process, you would use a Krasic Vassal. That is a beast that corrupts any item but puts 30% quality. This is unavailable to brick the item. You're guaranteed to corrupt the item. You're guaranteed to put 30% quality. Cost your Krasic Vassal beast. So I'm just gonna, since that's not available in here, I'm just gonna do this and do this till I get a corruption out of it without bricking the item. Come on, bro. Hello? There we go. So it would look like this with 30% quality. And at this point, we would use the Tainted Teardrops, which I believe are pretty expensive now, actually. They're going for... Oh, God. Okay. 1 Exalted per craft. And this will unpredictably increase or decrease the level of a modifier on the item. It cannot touch the Essence modifier. So the only thing we're looking at when you have modifiers like this is the level of minion gems needs to get 3 and the socket of spells needs to be 3. In my helmet, I didn't have +3. Instead, I was only looking at the socket of spells I crit because that's the massive difference between 1, 2, and 3. Same thing as socket of minion gems. There's a massive difference between 1, 2, and 3. And therefore, those will be the modifiers you're looking at. So we use it once. We see that we got +2 crit, +2 minion. And we do it again. Now we have +3 crit, but +1 minion. Do it again, +2, +2. Again, we're only looking at the level of minion gems and crits. Do this again till we hit +3 on everything, and this can be extremely expensive if you don't hit it all. But here we go. Now the helmet is finished. We got a 16 conk, 16 hypo. We have a shit roll life, but +3 minion gems and +3 crit, and this is the final product of this helmet. And this is a ridiculously good helmet, like disgustingly good. The only thing better with these modifiers with a life roll would be if the socket of minion gems was a minion damage instead. That would be the only thing that was better than this. Oh, I already had it, so I missed it once. My bad. All right. So basically, this is the process of crafting the big dick version. When it comes to running this in the lower budget version, we wouldn't have the socket of spells, and we would only have hypothermia together with the insanity. With any type of other suffix modifier, it doesn't really matter what you end up on. You can have a terrible one. You can maybe have like a bad strength roll or something. Doesn't really matter. You can have like a rest if you're lucky. And then it's all about getting 2 of the 3 different prefixes, which can be a somewhat expensive process. But at least you only have to spam the glyphic and the frigid fossil till you have hypothermia with the essence of insanity, and then start working on it because you don't care what happens to the suffix modifier. Very simple strategy. It is an expensive craft for sure, even on the low budget end, because eventually you're going to want to do the Krasic Vassal and then use the Tainted Teardrop, which is 1 Exalted each. So it's not something that you would do on a lower end budget, but it is how you do the Absolution helmet craft. Hope you had use of this video. Hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and yeah, until next time, stay safe, keep rocking.